Yo, what's up guys? Trader Neil here, back at you with another crypto live video. If you guys like what you see, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and if you could hit that bell icon, I would very much appreciate it so that you don't miss any of my future videos. But let's get started. Alright guys, so just looking at Bitcoin here, this is what I'm thinking. So I did take a long on the sweep of these lows here, and I already took some profit. My thoughts are like this. We need to get above this 71,168 resistance on the daily. So if I pull this across, it's really like 71,424. My issue here is this is a daily level on BTC, and yesterday we basically SFP'd it, failed to close above, and so this is my thoughts. We can push to these higher prices if we close above this level on the daily and hit this daily level next, in my opinion, at 73,113. Yeah, it's 300 for the 4 weeks. And so this is my thoughts. If we close the daily above here today or tomorrow, whatever it may be, then I think we push to these higher levels. And honestly, this is my last resistance I have on the chart. I mean, this is all-time highs right here, guys. This is all-time highs for BTC. So if we break that, then I think we push to 78, 80K. If I take a trend-based fib just on this range, so from this low to this high to this another swing low here, you've got your 1272, 1414, and 1618. For me, this is the range that I'm really looking at for next resistance, is 80K or so. This is where I am aiming. And of course, like, anytime you break all-time highs, guys, psychological resistance usually comes with the next whole number, in terms of like 10 with Bitcoin, I mean, every 10K. So 80K, 90K, 100K, all going to be at least some sort of psychological resistance, in my opinion. However, we are not there yet. That's just what my thoughts are for a potential resistance. And like I said, to get there, in my opinion, first we've got a couple resistances we got to get above. We got to get above this daily and then this next one. All right, so my thoughts on BTC are like this. I did take a scalp long here at these lows. However, my worry is that, you got the 1 hour RSI reset. That's good, but you have to flip this level before we go higher. And I don't personally recommend you guys take any sort of longs at a top side of range like this. So yes, I took a scalp, but in my opinion, it is simply just better to be waiting for those flips like I talked about, especially a flip of this daily. Like if you get something like this is where you could potentially take a swing, like the flip there, and then another daily flip here. If you get a retest on this daily level here, then you could potentially take this up to 80K. However, until you get that, I would be patient here, and I would be simply looking for pretty much mid-range to next support resistance level. So let's look at that and see where that could be. So in my opinion, let's see, still got really like this daily level that I've drawn down here. If you get a move back down to these lows, I would be interested in taking another swing long. Let me take a fib pull from this low to our current highs. That's also an 886. For my scalpers out there, I'll throw on my golden pocket fib, and you could be looking at this level as well, something like that. So basically, a couple of different areas of interest I have here on BTC. Okay, if you guys are also in a lot of longs here, And when I say a lot of longs, I mean you're over positioned at this point from maybe you took some longs down here, you're in a lot of swings, and you're waiting for a break of these swing highs. If you haven't taken profit on your longs, I would inquire you to at least take some UPNL off the table. I'm sure, like for me, for example, I'm up really heavily after all my longs that I took around here on BTC, so I have taken some off the table. And if you would like to do another thing that could help potentially hedge your longs, you could take a short, head short here to mid range, and just close if the daily closes above this level here at 71,450. So I know this is looking kind of schizo, but I'm just giving you a bunch of different options for all these scenarios, because I know a lot of you guys probably think I have a crystal ball in my prison pocket, but I don't. I I just prepare for all my scenarios here, okay? Chris, at least someone caught that. So here we go. Different scenarios here. Where's the ball? Let me. Oh, you're gonna have to, you know, maybe you could ask Arsh. I let him play with it sometimes too. Let's go. Let's go. What kind of stream is this? All right. All right. I'll move on. So it seems like that went over some people's head. Sweet. Crystal balls. But yeah, guys, like we have multiple scenarios here. BTC does not look bad, and I will tell you one thing that I really like here, and that's making me lean towards BTC pushing to higher prices, is take a look at Coinbase. So I'm telling y'all, Coinbase is like a cheat code for a lot of these charts. Once you see coin start running, and I bought a lot of, like 3 days ago, I bought a lot of options calls for end of July and September for coin because of this. This is my bread and butter setup. When I see a daily RSI reset here at the 50 level, coinciding with bullish price action, which in my opinion was this break of this wedge, that is my trigger for taking some swings. And this is on the daily. You even had it on the 4 hour here. Same thing, which you're pushing up from. So I'll probably take one or two cons off the table now that we're getting closer to top side of range, probably somewhere around like right here on the RSI. I'll start trimming a little bit. But yeah, coin is looking good, which makes me more bullish on Bitcoin itself. Sweet, sweet. All right, so looked at coin, looked at BTC. Let's take a look at Ethereum. So here in Ethereum, guys, this is what I'm seeing. So as long as ETH is holding above, really, I'd say this 38.12 level on the daily, it looks good to push to these higher prices. We didn't even get this daily hit here. So I'm still looking for these areas to be filled. I would not be surprised if a low gets put in on this current price action and we push to these higher levels. And for me, invalidations would just be a close below my level here on the daily. You could even push this up if you close below 38.12 on this daily candle, then I would get out of this long. But personally, like, this is a nice area to be jumping on ETH now that you got a retest. If you go down the lower time frames too, I think we got a sweep here. Yeah, so you did get a sweep of these lows. So as long as you're holding them, I think ETH pushes as long as BTC behaves here. And yeah, ETH looks pretty good. Let me post this. really quick. Okay. All right, let's keep going. ETH on higher time frames, you still have this uptrend. That's looking good. And until this uptrend is lost, I'm not bearish on ETH yet. I've talked about a couple times with you guys on stream about if we start losing this uptrend, and especially if we start losing this 3640 area, I'm gonna get more bearish on ETH. And when I say bearish, I just mean I think it would be a more likely scenario that we end up coming down to these levels here around 3200, 3260. As you guys can see looking left, once you start losing 3640 on the daily level, even here on the 4 hour, and you turn that into resistance, that's no bueno on ETH. Okay, so being cautious basically means that, honestly, like, if you start losing these levels at 3813, then we'll have to reevaluate. Cool. Man, wormhole is pushing today, guys. We're above TP1 still. Hopefully you guys got in that with me. Okay. And then let's move on to Sol. So I know a couple of you guys got into this so long with me. This is a beautiful hit of that type 2 return here. This is bread and butter. One of the bigger things I teach in my class is week 3 we go over harmonics strictly. And here you've got what is called a bullish bat. So where you have a 886 hit after you got a nice basically, let me go through this harmonic actually really quick. So you have your X to A to B to C to D. Your X to A is first up, then your A to B, and then your B to C needs to be between right here. It needs to be between a 382 and an 886 fib. Your X to B needs to be between a 382 and I believe a 618, and then your B to C needs to be between like a 1618 and 3618. I'll just have to check. And then X to D is an 886. So we have that. Your first reaction. Thanks, Crusadey. Yeah, if I don't have like these other ones in front of me, sometimes I forget the exact ratios. I eyeball it pretty good at this point because I've been doing them for so long. And so once you have your first hit off your D point here, that's what's called your T1 reaction. So that's your pattern completion zone, your PCZ. That's what you get off your D. Once you get that, you can play that hit. However, the strongest indication, for me at least, for taking a long opportunity off of something like this is when price action hits your D point, comes up, and then comes down for your type 2, just like we got here. And so that was a beautiful textbook reaction off of the type 2 here on Sol, and that's why we got our push up. And so looking at it at this point, as long as we're holding this zone where we currently are above like 170 or so, I'm still aiming for 183 and 188. However, if we start losing 170 on the 4 hour, then I'd be leaning towards it coming down to the bottom side of this range, which would not look very good. And so I want to see this continue pushing up and then hitting these upper targets for now. All right, so we went through the big 3. Let me go ahead and pull up. I'll go through some of your requests soon, but I wanted to go over this with you because Cake is an active setup that you guys can jump in with me. This is a really fantastic looking chart. You got a nice retest of this SR level here on Cake at 3.014 or so. As you can see, looking left in this entire range here, once you start closing dailies above this basically $3 zone, and you get a retest, it can take you all the way up to these higher prices here. So Cake looks pretty good, and my invalidation for this trade, guys, is if the daily closes below $3. If that happens, then I would jump out of the trade. I wanted to share this with you guys really quick, though, because, you know, it's retesting right now, which looks pretty good. All right. Sweet, sweet. So we went over those. Let's go ahead. We can look at a couple other things. BTC dominance. We'll look at BTC.D, and then we can take a look at injective. Let's do it. So BTC dominance here, it's about to break above the 50 level on the RSI. That actually looks pretty good. Swept those lows. Really, BTC dominance actually looks like it's gonna most likely have a push here to the upside, which in my opinion, guys, it could potentially precede BTC pushing out of the top side of this range. But at the same time, if BTC rejects here, what this is telling me is BTC dominance is going to keep pushing up, and then if BTC rejects, altcoins are going to get hit pretty hard. Okay, so that is just, I'm just signaling a sign of caution for you guys in case that happens. Yeah, I would be careful here in altcoins. I mean, it's not as big of a deal if BTC pushes to break out of this range that we're currently in to the upside. All that tells me is BTC is going to be the first mover, and then after maybe this comes up to, let me zoom in a little bit here. After BTC comes back to the top side of this range, maybe it gets rejected, and then alts start running. This would be fine as long as BTC's, like I said, pushing to the upside. However, if BTC starts dumping, then alts will probably get hit hard. So I would be careful there. Okay. Then let's take a look at injective. Man, yeah, so we got a couple good hits on injective. I charted this. This is my Unity layout, so we've gone over these together. Had a pretty good move off of this first long opportunity that we took. 10% if you guys got in there. And if any of you guys took the bottom side range long that I drew here, then you should be up really nicely. Other than that, if I pull this across on injective, if you guys aren't in an INJ long here, to me this looks pretty strong. At this point, I would be looking for, if you're not in a trade, for a push to the upside, retest, and then boom, reclaim of that range low here. And so could take another potential trade. Pretty good RR here for something like this. And what I would be doing is, let's go about right there. You get the flip, get it on the retest, and then cut if you break back into this bottom zone on the daily. But yeah, this is a great looking one here. Injective has been pretty strong. Let's take a look at injective Bitcoin as well, because I think that could be telling us something. Oh man, damn. Okay, this is looking good. I'm still in injective spot, but I'm telling you guys, like, This looks like it's gonna rip. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna push to the upside here. And looky there. Pretty much that does not get any more textbook. Got another bullish bat here. Yeah, Injective looks ready for another run. This probably, I think this is gonna send. Keep an eye on Injective for sure. So I got a lot of questions about how I knew that wormhole was gonna pump. Another thing that I teach during my class is BTC pairings. That's in the first week. This was the reason why I took the wormhole long. Essentially, on the BTC pairing here, you had a trendline retest of the supply line. You already broke your upward supply line here. And then when I was looking at it at these levels down here, you also had, consider it a cipher. No, it was essentially like right in between the 886 and the 786. It's more so, in my opinion, the 786. So this was a cipher. So all these together were like telling me like, okay, wormhole looks like it's gonna take a push up on the BTC pairing. And as you guys could see, they launched some news today. I think it was something to do with like staking or something. So I'm telling you guys, TA front runs the news sometimes. And same thing happened with Whiff whenever I gave that Gartley on that daily on the BTC pairing, preceded the pump too. So while everything was red today on your altcoin list and on BTC and ETH, wormhole was pumping. So BTC pairings are OP. I know a lot of people don't use BTC pairings. I won't say who those people are. They say they're useless. I don't think this is useless because we got a 7 to 8% gainer on wormhole while the market was red. So to me, that tells me, I don't know. What does that tell you? I don't think I have to describe it. That's how you find your gems. That's how I do it. What's up with stream? You guys can all see my stuff, right? You can hear me, see my charts? Okay. That's the only way you got your 100% win rate, E. Your ball tingle. E's got no microplastics in his balls. That's why his tingles work so well. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, man? The XABC, yep, it ends with D. Yep. Let me go through a little thing about harmonics for fun, guys. So, let me show you. You've got a couple of different harmonic patterns here. You've got a whole list, but a couple ones that I want to bring to your attention. You've got two different tools on TradingView, right? You've got the XABC.D pattern tool and you've got the cipher pattern tool. So I'll put this up as a YouTube short too because I think it'll help people. So the XABC.D pattern tool is this first red harmonic that I've drawn, and the cipher pattern tool is this blue tool here. And so the way that you know that you'd be using the XABCD versus a cipher is that if your X to D and your A to C are both below 1 here, these are retracement harmonics, and as a result, you need to use the XABCD pattern tool. And for the cipher pattern tool here, you would be using it if your A to C or your X to D are above 1, because those are extension harmonics. So A to C above 1 or X to D above 1 as well. Because if you don't use the correct tool for the correct retracement or extension harmonics, these numbers in between, like your X to B, your B to D, on either of them, they'll give you the wrong numbers. So you want to be careful there. All right. Just wanted to go over that really quick. Cool. All right, so we went over a couple charts today. Let's go over some requests from you guys. I have time for 2 more. Looks like I have a couple people wanting OP. Let's do that first. I haven't taken a look at OP in a while here. But looks like if you guys took this OP long that I gave, it looks like we've gone over it together at some point at least. Hit both daily levels. Had a 5% move up. Not looking bad. Let's get on the daily chart itself. Okay, so what I will tell you here on OP is that if you did take this long, I would de-risk here personally. I'm not a huge fan of this chart actually. It's one of the weaker ones. You double topped here. Yes, as long as you can push to the upside, which on the 4 hour it looks like you are putting. Okay, so I'll kind of change my tune here. I like that you're putting in a higher high here on the 4 hour chart. So what I will say is, if you get a retest of this golden pocket zone on OP for something like this, you could potentially take a trade. I would not be looking for this necessarily to break all the way to the upside though. I would just be aiming for now for top side of range or something like that. I know you are SR flipping these highs here, but it's higher risk where we are now. I would like to see this come down for a higher low and then get the real move up. For something like that. You also got the wicks right here in the same zone, this SR level in between, so you've got some other confluence there. If this takes off from here, so be it, but to manage risk, I would only be wanting to get in if we get a little deeper of a retrace. Yeah, so I see you got a question, W. How do you know if it's going to be above 1 or below 1 using the cipher XABCD? So it depends on the actual structure of your candles here. So for me, for example, I see a clear M shape here. Got your up move, you've got your B point, and then your D point here. So I already know that after you made your swing high here, your next high here, this is a lower high. So this is a retracement of this move to the upside. This is a retracement. It's not above the wick here. So that is going to be below 1. And then here and here, this D point is also above your A point here. So that's a retracement as well. If this was down here, then that would be an extension, but it's a retracement. So that's how you know you'd be using the XABCD here instead for something like that. Kind of a wonky looking harmonic, but honestly, if we get this retrace, this would look pretty good. Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, give me one more request in chat before I head out. Let's go ahead and do Portal, just because it's one that I haven't really looked at very much. Portal did have a nice push up here, up and out of this range, this bottom side range here. Finally broke out of it. Uptrend still holding strong here. I'm thinking though, okay, a little bit more of a retrace for me would give me my trigger to go long here, for something like that. Get a retest of this SR level, golden pocket level, and then this theoretically should hold if this break of range is to continue. You don't have any harmonics here, in my opinion, any clean ones at least. So maybe if you go on the 1 hour, to me it's like 4 hour harmonics and above are ones that I prefer to use. Oh, nice. Perfect. Got some Cient confluence there. Sweet. All right. Well, YouTube fam, that's it for the stream today. If you guys liked what you see, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you guys soon.